Hello everybody. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. I hope you're doing well today. I'm going to wait just a second and see how many people come on real quick. I am so excited about today's arrangement. Let's see. Okay, I see some numbers up there. I'm going to wait a second. Okay, so let me tell you, I am excited about today's arrangement. So I was trying to come up with a different idea, just something different, something new that I've not taught you before. And so I think today I am going to do a Biedermeier styled arrangement. And so what that means is it's just circles of flowers arranged in a vase or arranged in a hand-tied bouquet, and it has no negative space. So it's just circles and circles of flowers. And so today I'm going to work in a monochromatic color scheme, except it's kind of semi-monochromatic. I'm going to add some white. So it's going to be shades of pink with a touch of white. And so it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be different. It's something that I've never done before. Honestly, in my 20 some odd years of floral design, I have never made a Biedermeier styled arrangement. And so I'm excited about this one today. So I have got beautiful white roses. And these are called Proud. That's the variety. Smell really pretty. And it's more of a true white rose. I have a hot pink spray rose. I have a medium, or what I would call almost bubblegum pink spray rose. I have pretty seeded eucalyptus. You know I like my eucalyptus. I have, this is leftover from Christmas, but I loved it. It is painted bear grass. So it's a silver painted bear grass, and I thought it was perfect for the new year. I thought that's kind of fun to use and different. And then, of course, from earlier this week, I used these pink, we call these double surprise lilies or rose lilies, but it's got lots and lots and lots of petals. So when you come on, tell me hello, tell me how you're doing today, and tell me where you're from. You know, I love to look back and see where everybody's from. All right, so the Biedermeier style was, it originated in Europe. And so this is actually just a style of floral design that originated years and years and years ago. Most often it was done in a hand-tied bouquet, and it had no negative space, meaning all the flowers touched. So there was no negative space, and it's done in just circles and circles of color. And so I'm going to try to start out with some lilies, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these buds off this lily. And I'm going to take several heads and put them together for the first ring of color. And so I've got several stems. Let's see. And I will use these buds in other arrangements, but I'm going to set them to the side. All right, so I'm going to just take these buds. I'm going to tie everything in my hand, and then I'm going to tuck them over into this container. I'll show you really quickly which container I chose. You know, I showed you the silver bear grass, so I am going to use this glass container, and it has a little silver base to it. So I thought that's why that silver bear grass would look really pretty in this container. All right, so I'm just going to take these lilies, and I just gathered them in my hand, just like in a hand tie, okay? Hey, Miss Doreen, thank you for being here from Canada. Welcome, welcome. I bet you're pretty cold up there. Elaine, thank you for being here from Georgia. And Miss Pam, Carla, I'm glad you're here. South Carolina, Winona, Mississippi. Miss Hattie, thank you. And Miss Carol from Brandon, Mississippi. Goodness gracious, y'all are from all over. Thank y'all for being here today. Okay, so I've got my lilies. Next I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to go with my white roses. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay them close, and I'm going to strip down that foliage. And I'm just going all the way around, and I'm just holding it in my hand. And I'm just going to turn it. And I'm turning. Oop, I just popped that head, so I'm going to pull that one out because his head popped, okay? And it's because I was holding it a little tight, so you just kind of have to be careful. And that one has some bulked petals, so I'm just going to take it. And all I'm doing is pulling these petals back. And it's not hurting this rose. I'm just removing anything that has a bump. And I'm stripping all the foliage because I don't want the foliage to fall below the water line. Okay? Oh, that one's bumped. Look how pretty that lily is in that center. So pretty. Okay, so there's my white lilies, my white roses all the way around my, my pink lilies, okay? So then next, I think I'm going to come back in with the hot pink, and I'm going to do exactly what I did with the white. And I'm just going to take these, and I'm just laying them right on the outside of those white roses. And I'm just coming all the way around in a circle. So you can see how I have individual circles. And you can do this with any types of flowers. You can do it in a tight little arrangement. You can do it in a hand-tied bouquet. You can do it really in any kind of, for any, design. And you can kind of see how you can see how it's got that pink. All right, so there's the hot pink. So see how you can see those rings all the way around those circles. And they don't have to be perfect circles to work in this arrangement. You can scatter other colors in if you'd like. I love that it's the solid colors. And then next I'm going to come in with the baby pink, or the bubblegum pink, I guess. And I'm just tucking it right on that outside. And you can kind of see how the baby pink kind of mixes in with the hot pink there. And so it's really, really simple. It doesn't take a whole lot of design skill, and that's what I want it to be. I want floral design to be fun. I want you to have fun with it. Don't make it too complicated. Complicated makes it not so much fun. So just have fun with it. And it's okay if it's different than others. Oh, I love this. All right. So basically all I've done is a hand-tied bouquet. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just really a hand-tied bouquet. You can see all my stems there, right? So what I'm going to do now, before I add my foliage, is I am going to take it and I'm going to tape it together. Now this is waterproof tape, and you've seen me use it a lot. You can use a little piece of wire if you want to. The reason I really like waterproof tape is because it doesn't cut into the stems. You don't have it doesn't bite the stems. So I'm going to take it and I'm just popping that tape right up underneath my hand. And I'm just going to go all the way around these stems several times. to just make sure they stay together. And you can use twine here. If you have some twine, that would be great. You can use twine. And I have a little stem that's hanging down, so I'll just pop that stem off. Okay, now my stems are going to show in this vase. So what I'm going to do to cover up my tape is I'm going to do a quick little trick to cover up my tape. And what I'm doing here is just popping some of these little thorns off because they bite. Okay, so I'm going to lay my arrangement down. I'm going to take a little bit of this bear grass. I'm going to trim off the bottom stems. And what I'm going to do is move my vase so that I don't knock it off. I'm going to take this bear grass and just lay it over those stems. I'm going to come around just like that. I just went around and around the stems. I'm just going to tie it in a knot. I just want it to, and it's not going to be perfect, and it's okay. Perfect is not important. You're an artist, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So don't dare think any of this has to be perfect, because it's not about perfect. It's just about function. Okay, so you can kind of see where I just tied it in a little knot. Now I'm going to take some sharp scissors, and I am going to cut these stems off. Okay, so I cut my stems off. Now with that bear grass, ours came silver. You can go outside and you could take silver spray paint and spray paint foliage if you want to. So you could certainly take grasses and spray paint them with paint. That wouldn't be a problem, and it would hold the paint fine. It does not hurt the foliage. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tuck my stems right down into this vase. And so you can see where I have taken that little grass and covered that tape. And so when I set this down in here, it's wanting to lean to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to cut my stems off just a little shorter because I want it to sit flat on the top of that vase. So I'm just taking my scissors and I'm cutting these stems just a little bit shorter, okay? And now it's sitting directly on the top of that vase. So you can see, I'm going to tilt it just a little bit so you can see all my color. See how it's done in just rings of color? All right, so next, thank you, Miss Elaine, thank you. Oh, thank you, Miss Doris. I'm so glad to design for you. I'm so thankful that everybody loves it. It's so much fun. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, to give it a little bit of excitement, I have seeded eucalyptus. We're going to play with that. I thought that we would take this bear grass and I'm going to make loops with the bear grass. So I'm holding it at the bottom here and I am just going to take the tips and just make loops just like that, okay? I'm going to take a little piece of wire and I'm going to cut it in half. This is actually half of a 21 gauge wire. I'm going to cut it in half so it's a fourth of a 21 gauge wire. I'm just going to wire those loops together, and I am actually going to make several of those to tuck into this arrangement. And So I've just made a loop, and actually I've kind of left some of these little, I flipped this back up, that was the bottom, and just kind of made some little tendrils. It's just for fun. It's just to look pretty. So I'm going to take this grass, flip it, and then see how it's got this excess hanging down. I'm going to flip that up, just like that, okay? And just hold it all together. And then I'm going to take a piece of wire. It's kind of like girls wearing their hair in a ponytail now. They'll pull it up in a ponytail and then do that kind of loose bun they're wearing, messy buns. Kind of the same difference. Okay. Okay. So I'm taking that grass, doing a loop. I don't even know how many I'm going to need, so I'm just going to make several because I really don't, you know, I'm one of those designers that I don't plan things. I just come in here and do it, and then I'm like, oh, that worked out nice. I'm not really a good planner. Yeah, this arrangement actually, I think I had 20 minutes before I was to go live, and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to figure out something. And I had always wanted to do one of these. I do research when I'm laying in the bed at night. I flip through Pinterest and different things to kind of see different designs and get new ideas. Pinterest has been wonderful. Okay, so I made several. I think I'm going to make just a couple more. Several loops. And I figure if we don't like this, we don't have to use them. This one doesn't have really pretty bottoms, so I'm actually just going to loop it just like that. This is your first time seeing me. Aw, Miss Hattie, thank you for being here. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for watching, Leanne. Hey there, how are you, friend? It's very girly, isn't it? Yeah, you know, at my house, I have everything that I have at my house is a boy. I have boy children. I have boy animals. Everything at my house is a boy, and so I always get excited to do things that are really girly, and this is one of those really girly arrangements. It kind of reminds you of Valentine's, doesn't it? It's all those pretty pinks and whites. All right, so I've got my loops ready, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them and just kind of tuck them on the edge of this arrangement. And I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm just laying them right there on the edge. So you really aren't going to be able to see them tucked down in the vase with the flowers. I mean, you're not going to see them down in here and with the stems. But I want them to stay, so I'm going to kind of tuck them in. And because the grass has been painted, it's really pretty preserved, so it doesn't have to have a whole lot of water because it's kind of got that preserved. I'm going to cut that one a little bit. The stems are long, so it's not going to discolor. Is what I'm saying. All right, so I've gone all the way around with my loops. I've got one more, so I'm going to scoot these over here. I'm going to tuck this guy right in. But isn't this fun? Wouldn't this be fun? A fun arrangement for a tea party or... Okay, and then lastly, so there we go. So I don't know if you can see it, but see how I've got those loops all the way around, just kind of fun and airy. And then lastly, I'm going to take some of this seeded eucalyptus, and it's going to just kind of cover up the edge. So I'm going to do it just like I've done in other arrangements. I'm going to just take this seeded eucalyptus just so that it softens the edge and it's not quite so harsh. But see how that kind of gives it just a little bit of a softness. And so all I'm doing is just taking this eucalyptus and cutting it in smaller pieces, going all the way around this vase and just kind of tucking it in the edge just like that. But this is a fun style. It's always fun to me to do something that I've never done, and just to kind of have fun with it. Don't get too overwhelmed. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's your arrangement, so don't feel like anybody's going to critique or judge it. It's just pretty and fun. And it's always fun to do something new and different. Thank you, Miss Doreen. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Sandy, how are you today? Now, a Biedermeier can always have height too, so I don't want you to feel like it has to be quite as flat. You see how this arrangement is pretty flat. I mean, it's kind of its own it's just kind of a domed, rounded top arrangement. You can have height here. All the Biedermeier style is just the circles of color. So if you wanted something with height here, like putting that blue delphinium tucked in the top and then coming down in more of a cone, you absolutely can do that too. But it's really just kind of in a style. But look how pretty those circles turned out. It really did turn out pretty. Guys, thank you so much for being here this afternoon and for always coming on my silly adventures and seeing what I'm going to do next. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you all real soon. Thanks, guys.